Slatt.
The female pupil's lavatory has been vandalised yet again, and this must not go unpunished. Expel any girl with makeup and learning difficulties.
Yes, Mr Slatt.
If you can find one with jewellery, all the better.
Right. Susie.
Nice one, Dan. Really stood up for yourself there.
Mr Slatt!
Yes, what? Yes.
Mr Slatt, I have to bring to your attention the fact that I have been facially assaulted.
Well, I think unlucky would be a better word. Try and compensate with your personality, or maybe take up religious work.
No. I have been punched, physically, in the face.
I cannot believe that you're still on about one trifling incident that's now over 6 months ago. I mean, I apologised at the time. In the cut and thrust of an Easter service, there was bound to be a certain amount of hard physical violence. In fairness to me, you were interrupting.
This is entirely different.
As I told you before, Miss Tripley, if you can't stand the heat, duck.
But this is a new punch, a different punch. I was punched by one of the pupils.
Right, OK, fine. Name?
Amanda Tripley.
The pupil's name, Miss Tripley.
David Guthrie, beastly child.
David Guthrie 4B?
That's him.
Are you absolutely certain he's doing rather well in computing?
Mr Slatt.
Are you sure it wasn't James Dowling? His parents are divorced.
Mr Slatt, Miss Travis was making rather an interesting point. Even if I find a girl with makeup and learning difficulties, can we actually be certain that she's guilty of toilet vandalism?
Yes, thank you, Miss Travis, but I think I know how to run this school's discipline policy. How about Raymond Telfer, overweight, no friends?
It was David Guthrie, Mr Slatt. He punched me because, and I quote, I have a fat, stupid face. I demand to know what is going to be done about it.
Well, I don't know. Perhaps some sort of hood.
I was asking, Mr Slatt, what is going to be done about David Guthrie?
Oh, for goodness sake, let's not take this too seriously. You know, David's just the sort of fast-track young rapscallion who's always getting up to merry japes like punching and assault.
I don't believe this. Amanda has just told you she was hit by a pupil.
Miss Tripley, Amanda, as I'm sure you'll be the first to agree, you have a rather disturbing face. And you must expect, in the fullness of time, for it to be hit. If, for instance, it appears unexpectedly in low lighting, or perhaps you smile.
Oh, yes, I see.
Yeah, the rest of us don't get a football in the face every time we cross the playground, you know. And when we do, the pupils don't count it as a goal.
Oh, no, that was my suggestion. That's how we always used to play when I was a child. There was no room in our garden for goalposts, so Father had to improvise. Happy days.
Yes. Well, there we are, then.
I soon found out it was a jolly good way of making new friends, actually.
Good. Now, if that's all...
Thank you, Mr Slatt.
No, Amanda. He punched you in the face.
Oh, what's one punch? I've got a game of cricket tonight, anyway.
Mr Slatt!
Yes!
I would like some clarification on the discipline policy of this school.
What?
Because at the moment it sounds like the ravings of a delusional paranoiac.
Miss Travis, I formulated the school's disciplinary policy.
Didn't I just say that?
Very well, then. If you have some views on the subject, perhaps instead of rushing off home immediately, as I notice you normally do with remarkable speed at the close of every school day, you'll stay behind and take part in our staff meeting.
Fine. No problem. I was wanting a word with Mr McGill anyway.
Fantastic!
Fine.
But I warn you, Miss Travis, the first-track hothouse of a Girl First Eye staff meeting is strictly for men. Well, and women, obviously. But men and women with balls. Well, metaphorical balls. Well, mine aren't metaphorical. I've got proper ones. As you'll soon find out at this meeting. Not that I'm going to let you see them or anything. But you'll just be aware of them, you know, lurking under the table. Look, I'm just trying to say that this is going to be a tough meeting, that's all. So you can just forget about seeing my genitals.
Haven't we all?
Not in front of the staff, Janet.
Not even when we're alone, it would seem. Not for 3 months.
Could we please have some professional decorum? Thank you very much.
Did we all sleep well last night, then? I slept well. Peaceful. Undisturbed.
Yeah, I wouldn't call you exactly peaceful, dear. Your mouth was open.
He simply has no idea about women, my husband. I need to be tattooed with some sort of road map.
You mean you're not? Excuse me. Headmaster?
I've just been having a word with what's her name, a difficult girl in the 4th form. Enormous shoulders, auburn moustache.
Could you be a little more specific?
Gail Bennett.
Oh.
If we could perhaps have a quick word. Well, I've got in my office at the moment, a bit of an emergency.
Yes, of course.
No problem.
So, what can I do for you?
Where does this meeting happen, then?
Upstairs staff room. I'll show you.
You take Bobby Jones for maths, don't you?
First year? Yeah, I do.
What do you make of him?
Well, what do you make of him?
Well, his oral skills are good, but his written work seems confused at times. There's just something a bit odd about him. I've tried talking to him, but he's very unresponsive. And I was just starting to wonder if he's the same way in other classes. What's he like in maths? Dan.
Sorry, I got a bit distracted during that.
Which part?
Everything after oral.
The thing is, he left his bag in class today. I was having a look through some of his other work. Read that, will you?
What, this?
Yeah, aloud.
Bungee de Quiltfang. Metallurgical whipsnade Keebles de Kitoff. Thyroid dingo Wolverhampton.
Yeah, so it goes on. What do you think?
Well, it's Estransian, isn't it?
Estransia?
Yeah, Estransian. You know, he's studying Estransian. It's a language. It's what they speak in Estransia.
Estransia?
Yeah, you know, it's a country.
Bollocks!
Okay, then. Better speak to his languages teacher.
That's me, actually.
What?
I'm his language teacher.
You?
Yeah.
Dan, you're a maths teacher.
Well, yes. But there was a maths staff surplus at the beginning of the year. Mr. Slatt said he'd have to let me go unless I doubled up on languages. It's a sort of cost-cutting thing.
So, to keep your job, you became a languages teacher?
Yeah, that's it.
And how many languages do you speak, Dan?
Well, just Estransian, really.
Dickhead!
Estransian?
Yeah.
Read me some more Estransian, Dan.
Well, I don't really think...
Dan, read.
Follicles diddy bongo. Aluminium whoppers de kit off. Heebie twango rollocks. Rollocks.
Dan, there is no such language as Estransian.
Well, not actually, no.
You made it up, didn't you?
Well, yes, in fact, yes, I did.
Dan! I thought you were the one sane person in this place.
Well, you don't know what it was like. I was this close to losing my job. I just found myself stuck with a modern languages class. I just sort of panicked.
So you invented a new language to avoid embarrassment. I think that may be unique.
Well, I never thought it would work, you see, but they actually started learning. I'm a maths teacher. I'm not used to that. Well, now here I am, stuck with a class full of kids all speaking fluent Estransian. I haven't got the faintest clue what they're talking about. OK, it was a stupid thing to let happen. And I promised at the time I'd never get myself into that kind of situation again.
And if Bobby's geography teacher happens to point out there's no Estransia on the map?
Oh, no, there is an Estransia on the map.
Oh, you mean there is an Estransia?
No, I mean, I'm his geography teacher.
Tell me, is there any job around here you're not prepared to do to keep Eric Slatt happy? However unhappy poor little Bobby Jones gets? I mean, are you aware this kid already spends half his time with the school nurse?
Well, obviously I am, but in all fairness, I can never find anything wrong with him.
You're the nurse.
Well, you see, what are you doing?
I'm looking out about Estransia.
No, now listen, please.
Mr McGill, Miss Travis, Mr Carpdale. Is this all we're going to have for the staff meeting?
No, me as well.
Ah, splendid. Mr Humboldt, record-breaking attendance already. And, of course, Mrs Slatt to take the minutes. Now, excellent. I realise that Mr Slatt is, in fact, taking this meeting, but I just wanted to raise the subject of... Are you quite all right, Mr Slatt?
Would you mind if I just nip down to the facilities for a moment, Mr Nixon?
No, not at all. Go right ahead.
No bladder control.
Now, what I wanted to mention...
I'm sorry,
Just commenting on your hair trigger bladder, dear. Nothing of any importance.
but I like to think there's plenty of importance in my bladder.
Must be why it's so anxious to get out.
Mr and Mrs Slatt...
What do you mean by that?
Capital of Estransia,
I wonder if we could
Danville.
return to the matter...
And what do you mean by hair trigger?
Well, you know what you're like, dear. If there's a sudden noise or your mother phones.
Mount Susie.
Enough intended.
Oh, yeah? The mountain next door is called Nice Idea.
Mrs. Travis, please, could we get back to the subject?
I would like to assure this meeting that I have a large and effective bladder. I could store the urine of 10 men.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Slap.
Not that I'd actually ever do that, obviously. I mean, that would be disgusting.
If ever there's a storage problem, you'll be the first person we think of.
Now, I really do think...
Hun?
Miss Travis, please.
President of Estransia, Dan.
Oh, God.
Travis Felicio.
Look, will you all, for God's sake, listen? Thank you.
You still all right, dear?
What do you mean?
Well, he shouted rather suddenly.
Now, Mr. Slaps, going by your behaviour, might I suggest you'd be happier in the lavatories?
Well, no, I like being deputy head.
I only meant for a visit.
Oh, I see. Oh, well, I'll go... No, I'm fine. There's always room in my bladder for lots more. Though again, that isn't any form of offer.
Now, to the small matter of Gail Bennett. We all know Gail, I'm sure.
I don't.
Largish girl in the 4th form. I'm sure you've seen her. Looks a bit like... I've got a terrible memory for names. A Volkswagen.
Of course, Gail, yeah, I take her for domestic science.
How's her Estransia?
Actually, I think she's top.
Now, as I've been explaining to Mr. Slat, Gail's a little bit upset at the moment. She feels, and I'd like us all to search our memories for possible examples of this, that members of the staff have been making fun of her appearance. And rather distressingly, she's been phoning in to radio problem shows and discussing this matter. Now, what I suggest, Mr. Slat, is that you continue with the meeting with an emphasis on the Gail Bennett problem. I'll just go and have another word with Gail herself. Carry on, everyone.
Right, well, why don't we all just take a moment to walk around, get a breath of fresh air, and then get down to some serious meeting? What do you say?
You wanting to go somewhere in particular, Slat?
No. Let's get on with it. Let's fast-track this meeting.
And now we know where the fast track is located.
Gail? Gail, I'm coming in now. I want you to remain absolutely calm. Did you hear me, Gail? I promise you I'm not going to make any sudden moves. Gail, have you locked this door? Now look, those are my keys. Those are special headmaster keys. You're not supposed to be using them. Well, if that's how you're going to behave, I'm just going to go away. That'll show you. Aha. Gail? Gail? Gail, I want you to unlock this door and come back in at once. Otherwise, I promise you, you're going to feel terribly silly. Well, Gail, I suppose you feel like a complete idiot now, don't you?
Right, and let's just whiz on to the next item on the agenda, the division of our 2nd form into different ability groupings.
Ah, you mean streaming.
Yes, thank you, Janet.
To stream or not to stream? Always a tough one.
Right, let's just forget about that one for the moment, shall we? Next item, the school trip.
Excuse me a moment, dear.
Yes, fine. Right, we're thinking of somewhere abroad this year, obviously strictly for selected fast-track students, and we're looking for ideas for something educational, What are you doing, darling?
Just filling the kettle, darling.
That's fine, dear. Right, the school trip, any ideas?
How about Estransia?
How about anywhere?
How about the Niagara Falls?
Does anybody actually want coffee?
No.
Absolutely not. No coffee, Janet.
Oh, well, fair enough.
I'm just going for a little walk. Just making my way to the door. Yes, what, yes?
Mr. Slatt, it's Mr. Nixon. Gail Bennett has locked me in my office and taken the master key to the entire school.
Oh. No.
What is it?
No!
Hello? Eric, what is the matter? Have you had a little accident?
The door is locked. The evil bastard door is locked. Bugger.
Well, who locked it?
Gail Bennett, according to the head. She's locked him in too. Nobody got a master key then?
Just me and Nixon. Mine's in my office.
Doesn't the school safety officer have one?
Well, yes, but I left it in my classroom.
Which one?
Bastard door!
Oh, Eric, will you please pull yourself together?
Amanda!
What about her?
Well, she won't have left yet, will she? She'll still be in her office.
Well, she doesn't have a key, you stupid woman.
No, but she can get one, can't she?
Look, it's ringing. I knew he could do that. Hello, Amanda Tripley, Music and Guidance. Thank you for calling this number, and if there's anything I can ever do...
Shut up or I'll kill you.
Mummy?
It's Mr. Slatt.
Oh, sorry, yes, of course.
Listen. A number of us are currently in the staff room, and we're locked in.
Oh, but there's no need for that anymore. I promised to stay in the music office.
Miss Tripley, we need your assistance.
Mr. Slatt, I'm ready.
Richard Nixon, headmaster, no relation. Who? Oh. Oh. Oh.
Where is that ridiculous woman?
Sit down, Eric. You're panicking.
I am not panicking. I'm perfectly calm. Thank you very much.
Oh, for heaven's sake, dear, panic is just flowing out of you. It's positively gushing. It's a foaming torrent. It's cascading like a mighty river.
Yes, thank you very much, Janet. Yes. Headmaster. What?
What is it?
Yes, dear.
Local television's been on to the headmaster. Apparently Gail Bennett's phoned them and told them she's locked up her teachers and she's going to do a rooftop protest from the school. They're sending a camera crew.
What's she protesting about?
What's she protesting about? What? Really? Well, where on earth is Estransia? She's protesting about her treatment at this school and the massacre of the peasants in Estransia.
Massacre?
I had a rough morning.
Apparently the president's gone completely mad. He's got a very odd name.
Yes, never mind.
Oh, thank God! Thank God!
Well done, Amanda.
I've got the key from your office, Mr. Slatt.
Well, use it, woman, use it!
It's a bit stiff.
Well, come on!
Take your time, Amanda.
It really is terribly stiff.
Well, just slide it under the door, then.
What's that?
Don't bother to unlock the door, just slide the key underneath. Oh.
What did you say, Mr. Slatt? It really was terribly difficult to unlock.
You didn't have to unlock it, you stupid woman!
Oh, sorry.
No, I just meant you could have slid the key underneath.
Oh, of course. Well, Amanda to the rescue, eh?
No sign of a camera crew out there?
Oh, I'm sure the head managed to put them off.
Oh.
Does it look as though it's going to rain, Dan?
Sky looks a bit black, I suppose.
And there was that thunder earlier. The clouds dark and heavy with rain. The sky's ready to open. I just hope we're not flooded. Eric?
Yes, dear?
What are you doing with that trophy, dear?
I'm just cleaning it.
Well, why don't you bring it over here and show us all?
What now?
No, dear. I'm sure we'd all like a look.
Absolutely. Been a while since we got that, eh, Mr. Hummel?
This school won something once. This I've got to see.
Well, bring it over, dear. Everyone's interested.
In a minute.
Now, dear. Oh. I see you hadn't quite got around to cleaning it then, dear.
No, dear, I hadn't.
About time it was cleaned, actually. What were you going to use?
Just going to inspect this cupboard.
You're going to what, dear?
I'm just going to inspect it, dear, because I'm deputy head, and I'm allowed to inspect any part of the school I want, because it's my territory.
He is very territorial for a teacher, isn't he?
Trust me, I think he's about to set a new standard.
Yes! Miss Triplett, what are you doing here? You've got another hour in the corner.
Mr. Slat, I am aware of your terrible need.
What?
Of your terrible longing. Mr. Slat, I'd like to offer myself as a vessel.
Mr. Slat, quickly, the television.
What?
Darling, our moment will come with me.
No.
So far, we've seen no sign of movement, but Gail Bennett, the Galfast High pupil complaining of not only her own ill treatment, but of the massacre of the Estransian peasants, has promised she'll... Hang on. I think she's appeared on the roof. Presumably she's making her complaint against the staff of Galfast High.
Down with fellatio! Down with fellatio! Mr. Slat, I think you better see this.
Just one moment.
Someone seems to be coming to a window, perhaps to answer this allegation. Can we zoom in on that? Yes, it appears to be one of the teachers. Perhaps he's some statement to make.
Slat!
My God, what's he doing? What kind of school is this?
Just taking care of some serious business in here. Got my hands full. Thank God someone's still taking things seriously. Instead of sitting around watching a lot of rubbish on television. So, what's been going on in here then?
Well, on the plus side, I think you're about to become the most famous deputy head in England.
Yes!
Mr. Slat, quickly, the television.
What?
Darling, our moment will come with me.
No.
So far, we've seen no sign of movement, but Gail Bennett, the Galfast High pupil complaining of not only her own ill treatment, but of the massacre of the Estransian peasants, has promised she'll... Hang on. I think she's appeared on the roof. Presumably she's making her complaint against the staff of Galfast High.
Down with fellatio! Down with fellatio!
Mr. Slat, I think you better see this.
Just one moment.
Someone seems to be coming to a window, perhaps to answer this allegation. Can we zoom in on that? Yes, it appears to be one of the teachers. Perhaps he's some statement to make.
Slat!
My God, what's he doing? What kind of school is this?
Just taking care of some serious business in here. Got my hands full. Thank God someone's still taking things seriously. Instead of sitting around watching a lot of rubbish on television. So, what's been going on in here then?
Well, on the plus side, I think you're about to become the most famous deputy head in England.
Yes!